I'm here to talk to you today about coterminal angles and drawing angles in standard form. We're in chapter 4.1. We're drawing angles in standard form and finding coterminal angles. So let's get to it. We can see here that the formal definition says we're increasing or decreasing the degree measure of an angle in standard position. We'll talk about that in a second. By a multiple of 360 degrees. We should also put or 2 pi, right? Or 2 pi, which results in a coterminal angle. So we have a theta, we have some angle measure, and that is either adding or subtracting 360 degrees times k, which is an integer. So if we put 0 in, we just get the angle. If we put 1 in, we loop around again 360 degrees. Or we can use theta and 2 pi and k. So k, again, is an integer. So let's take a look at our good friend, the circle here. And we notice that it goes from 0, the circle goes from 0, we go counterclockwise in this motion to get to 90 degrees. And this is 180 degrees. And we come back around to 270, and finally we get back to 0, or 360 degrees, okay? So standard position, what does that mean? Well, if I'm going to draw something in standard position, I have a ray that comes out this way, and now I'm going to rotate my angle in some change. So we have, if I put my other ray here, I would say that I've rotated it here 60 degrees. Let's say we rotated it 60 degrees, okay? So this is the initial side, and this is the terminal side of the angle, and the angle is made in between. So we have an initial side, okay, and then we also have the terminal side of the angle. Terminal side. In between is the resultant angle. Okay, so we always move counterclockwise in trig. So counterclockwise, going around the circle in this motion. So let's take a look at an example of finding a few angles. Now, example 1, find a coterminal angle for 60 degrees. Well, we started off here at 60 degrees, and so we want to leave that there. And it says, by the definition, we can either add 360 degrees to it. So if we add 360 degrees, what I'm going to end up doing is I will take here and I will go around this, come around again, and come right back to the same spot. And that will give me an angle that results in 420 degrees. Okay, 420 degrees. Now the other thing I could do is, because I took this and added 360 degrees, so full revolution around 360 degrees, I could also go the opposite direction, which would be a negative angle. See, if we want a positive angle, we always go counterclockwise. If we want a negative angle, I can go the other way. So I could start here at this mark and go around again, back. I'm going opposite direction, and I end up back at the same spot. It has to be at the same spot. That's key. In that case, I'm actually subtracting 360 degrees, and I'm getting a negative angle of negative 300 degrees. So this could also be negative 300 degrees. Those are all at the same place, the same location. They just have different names, okay? It's kind of like going to a store. You can get there many ways. I can get to the same spot. I can either go this way at 60 degrees. I can go all the way around again for 420 degrees, same location. Or I can choose to go opposite this way, going opposite direction here, and circling around and ending up there. So I think I drew it wrong before, but you get the idea. I'm going the opposite direction. Okay, we have another one. 3 pi over 4. Well, let me get rid of some of this in here. Say we have now 3 pi over 4. So 3 pi over 4 is going to be down in this section. It's in quadrant 3. No, quadrant 2, excuse me. 3 pi over 4 is up here. So in this case, this is 3 pi over 4. And this would be pi. So if I come counterclockwise, I'll end up there at 3 pi over 4. Now, I want to find a coterminal angle for that. So what do? In this case, since we're dealing with pi, I have to add 8 pi over 4, which will give me 11 pi over 4. So I keep going around again. Right? In this case, I'm going to go around one more full revolution, and I would end up at 11 pi over 4 as my number there. Okay, 11 pi over 4. Or I could go the opposite direction in negative terms, starting here and going clockwise, working myself around, and end back up at negative 5 pi over 4. So negative 5 pi over 4. So if I go there, then I get that, and we get negative 5 pi over 4. It's basically just adding and subtracting 360 degrees. Hope you have a great day. Thanks a lot. We'll talk to you soon.